Lions, the creatures called kings of the savanna. They have strength, claws, teeth, and a loyal pride. They don't need to go anywhere because everything comes to them: prey, water, and control. But then one day, things are no longer the same. Antelopes stop appearing in the area. Water grows scarce. And the land, once their territory, slowly turns dry and empty. The lions don't weaken. They can still fight, still hunt, still roar. But some things can't be held on to with a roar, like rain or prey, or the flow of nature. The entire pride is forced to move. This is the first time they leave, not because of a fight, but because they have no choice. And on this new path, no one knows what awaits. A new land, another rivalry, or a quiet defeat. If even lions must abandon their territory, then is there any species truly unbeatable in this world? The lion's migration journey, when the king's power falters. Until now, lions have never been a migrating species, not because they couldn't, but because they didn't need to. A lion's world is its territory, a familiar land with enough water, enough prey, enough shade to rest, and enough open space to run. They live, hunt, raise cubs, and die in that same place. One generation follows another, growing up on the land their ancestors left behind. Unlike antelopes, elephants, or zebras, species that move with the seasons, the water, the grass, lions choose to hold fast to one place and make it their kingdom. They don't need to wander in search of anything. Instead, they make prey come to their domain. A lion's entire life might revolve around an area of just a few dozen square kilometers. There, they know every blade of grass, every path prey takes, every tree with shade to escape the sun. They know the terrain so well they can hunt without thinking. Because of this, migration has never been part of their way of life. If the environment changes, they wait. If resources dwindle, they endure. But they almost never leave unless forced to. For lions, leaving their territory isn't just a change of home. It's an act of surrendering power. In the wild, it's rare for an entire pride to leave together. Usually, only grown cubs are driven out, or a defeated male leaves alone after losing a fight. But when a pride, including the dominant male, lionesses, females, and cubs, abandons together their center of power, it's no longer ordinary normal. It's an unusual sign. Lions don't have a clear migratory instinct like antelopes or elephants. They aren't move in herds of hundreds, follow no set route, and don't know a safe destination. So when they must migrate, lions don't depart actively or orderly, but passively and chaotically, like a smoldering fire spreading from a collapsed old house. The journey begins when the territory can no longer sustain the pride. Water dries up, prey vanishes, shade grows thin. At first, the lionesses hunt farther, straying beyond familiar boundaries. It might be days, maybe weeks. As those trips grow longer, and the cubs must follow their mothers to survive, the entire herd pride begins shifting little by little. Lions don't move far during the day. They wait for night, when it's cooler, safer, less visible. They don't run, don't rush, but move in short stretches, resting often, stopping, alerting, always alert. On their migration, they're no longer kings but intruders, stepping into another's land. The dominant male always trails behind or stays in the middle to watch over and protect the females and cubs. But he's also the most threatened, because if they meet another pride, he risks attack. They seek water, signs of prey, and no scent of rival lions. But that's not easy. In resource-rich areas, then, in abandoned lands, sometimes only snakes remain. And so, the lion's migration is a series of temporary survival choices. Stay where they can live, then move on when it runs out. No map, no certainty, no way back. That's not how lions lived. But in a world changing daily, even kings must adapt or be left behind. The sun rises slowly over the unfamiliar land. Not a welcoming light, but a harsh, glaring light, exposing everything that shouldn't be seen. The lions lie scattered under low bushes, eyes half closed, but ears still listening. No one truly sleeps. The cubs are worn out. The lionesses haven't caught anything overnight, and their milk is running low. But food isn't the only priority now. More urgent, they're standing on someone else's land, someone else. Grass here is taller, greener here. Antelope tracks are fresh. The soil is soft, with the scent of water nearby. Every sign suggests this is a good place to live. But that's exactly why. Because something shows it can't possibly be unclaimed. A lioness steps forward, moving slowly, head low, nose skimming the ground like a detector. And then she stops, a deep scratch on a tree trunk near the rocks, a distinctive mark only made by a mature male marking its boundary. The pride instantly understands. This isn't abandoned land. It's claimed territory. Another pride, perhaps larger, younger, or fiercer, lives somewhere very close. In nature, lions avoid fights. They act only when cornered. A clash between two prides often leads to bloodshed, not over prey, but over dominance. And if the dominant male loses, his cubs may be killed soon after, erasing his lineage. But this pride has no choice. They have nowhere else to go. The lands behind are dust and drought. Ahead lies danger, but also a chance to survive. The dominant male stands without roaring. He doesn't show off, but his gaze sweeps over each female, each cub. He knows if a fight breaks out, he'll be the first to stand in the way. The lioness is spread out, keeping the cubs in the center. No one flees. No one advances either. And in that silence, faint breezes rustle through the grass. No roars sound, but it's not peace, just the final moment before a real confrontation begins. The first roar is loud enough to freeze the migrating pride in place. From the opposite hillside, two shapes appear. Male lions, large, strong, with thick manes, their coats sleeker than any in the migrating pride. They descend slowly, unhurried. They don't need to rush because this is their land. A lioness from the wandering pride hisses softly, not to threaten but as an instinctive warning. The cubs huddle close, retreating toward the bushes. No one tells them to, but they know. A mistake now will cost blood. The dominant male of the migrating pride steps forward. He's no longer young. Old scars on his shoulder and dust in his mane tell that story. But his gait is steady, head unbowed. He doesn't roar back. The two sides face off, less than 10 meters apart. No trees for cover, nowhere to hide, no way to negotiate. The larger male roars again, longer, fiercer this time. A claim of ownership, not an invitation to fight, but a final warning. And then he advances. The clash is swift, brutal, and eerily silent. No cries, no blood splattering. Just the heavy thud of two muscle-bound bodies colliding, claws scraping earth, wind whipping through fur. The migrating pride pulls back. The lioness's retreat, shielding the cubs, eyes unblinking. The fight doesn't last more than 3 minutes. But in the wild, 3 minutes can decide life or death. The male from the wandering pride is thrown down. He doesn't collapse, but he doesn't strike back. He retreats, eyes still locked on his rival. A moment later, he and his pride withdraw. No victor roars in triumph. No loser begs for mercy. Just heavy footsteps turning away and breaths held tight in throats. The migrating pride leaves that land as soon as they can. No looking back, no hesitation. Three days after the clash, the pride still hasn't stopped. They move at night, rest in shade by day. Cracks in the hard ground show no rain has fallen here for weeks. Beneath their feet, only dust and stones. Above, only sun and sky. The dominant male is lightly injured from the fight. The gash has scabbed over, but his steps are heavier. The lionesses now hunt farther, bolder, sometimes returning with just a small hair. Not enough for the whole pride. The cubs are visibly thinner. Then on the fourth afternoon, as the sky turns burnt bronze, they see a low land stretching out ahead, not vast, not lush, but with signs of life. A cluster of low acacia trees stands scattered around a shallow basin. In the center, a small, murky pool. The grass around it has yellowed, but isn't dead. And most crucially, no scent of other predators. Not paradise, not abundant, but survivable. The largest lioness steps forward, sniffing each tree. Her eyes scan every footprint, every scratch. Nothing unusual, no smell of blood, no signs of struggle. Perhaps antelopes pass through, but no predators have stayed. The cubs rush to the pool, splashing in mud and drinking greedily. No one stopping them. No one speaks. They've traveled far enough. And for now, being alive is enough. The pride rests under the trees, not truly safe, not truly home. But in a world where boundaries shift daily, resting one afternoon without a fight is a kind of victory. They just lie there breathing, licking wounds and keeping the cubs in sight. Tomorrow they may have to move again, but today they have each other, and they're alive.